Introducing the all-new BYD Sea Lion 7, the luxury electric SUV that's changing the game. Book your free test drive today at the BYD showroom in Sheffield.
Dr. Steelhammer, Vladimir Klitschko, and Dr. Iron Fist, Vitaly Klitschko, Shannon the Cannon Brigg, and Butterbean, Cruiserweight King Jai Opetaia.
Boxing King Media powered by BYD. Mr. Spencer Fearon from the comfort of his lovely garden, sun shining. Spencer, how are you this morning?
I'm blessed, highly favored, even better for speaking to you. BKM.
Yeah, we keep missing each other over the last couple of weeks. Either you've been busy or I've been busy, and but we managed to pin each other down this morning. I think before I say anything, I just noticed you put something up on your IG the other day. Yeah, you're nominated for some sort of award for through your management company.
Yeah, it's actually my business partner, Liam Bowles, who's up for commercial awards from the Black Footballers Awards or the Black Football Association. So I'm really happy that we're getting recognition, and it's something that's sponsored by the FA as well. So before everyone jumps on about what's the inclusion, right? That's part of the inclusion. That's all part of it. So yeah, I'm very, very chuffed that we've been nominated. So I'm grateful for that. We've done some fantastic stuff with a few of our players that we've got. So yeah, especially Brad Young, who's playing at Al Aroba. Well, I've been grateful enough I can go back and forth to Saudi Arabia off the back of that. So yeah, it's all good, man.
Great stuff. And then obviously jumping straight on the sun is shining, mate. You're lucky to be sat in your garden to do this interview. So let's jump straight into big drama last night. I think I'll go straight into the Jamie TKV David Adeleye fight. We never spoke before the fight, but just curious. It's probably easy to answer that. But who did you think was going to win that fight and how?
I wasn't too sure. I'm gonna be real. Okay. Skill wise, Jamie TKV is very, very talented, but I wasn't too sure because he's one of those guys who gives everybody fantastic work in sparring. Right? He's not the heaviest hitter, but his boxing IQ is very, very high. It's very high. So I wasn't too sure. I thought like Jamie could possibly pip it on points, but that you could get clipped. And one thing that you have to give David Adeleye, the brother can really punch.
Indeed, he can. And how did you score the fight up until?
I had Jamie comfortably. Right, it wasn't a fan-friendly match, but for people who understand to negate and how to win ugly, I think Jamie was doing that. I think Jamie was doing that very well. But you could always see like he's gonna get clipped soon. He could get clipped soon, but he was making Adeleye miss wildly. He was making Adeleye very, very hesitant to attack because he was missing a lot. And I really do like how Jamie was going jab head, jab body. And I like his poise and his stance of his feet. I thought that Jamie boxed a very, very good fight. This is not taking away nothing from David Adeleye. Because David Adeleye, you could see like he was waiting to think, look, I just want to catch you and see how you behave once I catch you. But because it was done like in that way, BKM, it was like he was losing rounds, feeling that I'm just confident enough that I can hit you with that one shot and we're going to see what's going to happen. There's going to be a reverberation off of the back of me hitting with that one shot. So, yeah, that's how I saw it.
If there was no, like, if the fight didn't end the way it ended, do you think Jamie would have carried on points, or do you think he would have got tagged at some point? It's a hypothetical question.
It is you know what? It's like me saying, well, in a 200-meter race, I was beating you in the 100. No, it's like it is what it is. But what I have to say is this, right? And this is not no slant on Adam Booth. Adam Booth's fighters are not renowned to be stamina-filled base fighters. They're not. You know what I mean? If you go look at them, they all kind of, and it was, who was it that said this to me? And I used to work with Adam Booth back in the day, so I'm not no slant. Adam is more skill-based, right? if the fight was to continue, it was actually Danny Wright that said this to me as well. And I've said, yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. So if the fight was to continue at the pace that it was, we don't know, because David Adeleye wasn't really exerting a lot of energy. So because he wasn't exerting a lot of energy, he could have done the rounds, I believe. You know what I mean? Because he wasn't like, but he did need to up the pace, because as far as I was concerned, Jamie TKV was befuddling with sneaky stuff. But it's totally different. When two guys know each other, the golfing class, because seemingly David's been in with a better opposition. When you know someone, it kind of levels out a little bit. And that's what we saw last night.
But I know when you're watching fights, in your head, you'll be thinking, right, I think this will end up happening, or he'll either catch him late, or he'll end up winning. But what was that thought process?
No. You know what? In that thought process, Jamie doing what Jamie was doing, I thought Jamie's gonna win this one on points. That's how it looked, because, and we just got to be real. David Adeleye didn't look like the David Adeleye that banged out Dacus. But the worst thing for David was, because he banged out Solomon Dacus in that fashion, that no matter how much you say, no, I'm just gonna be humble, I'm gonna try box and get my way in and stuff. No, because you just found a newfound trainer in Adam Booth. So you've been training with Adam for a hot minute now. It's got to be about 8 months, right? Right? It takes another. It's not me. This is what psychotherapists say. Like, in order to change something, the change of progression takes 14 days, 2 weeks, but the full change, so you don't revert back to type, takes a year. Okay. And you could see with David, he was loading up a lot, thinking like, right, I just want to smash you, and his timing was out, because he was showing that he was loading up too much. And you know what? We got to give me, the brother can bang. You know what I mean? But the things that David usually does, since being with Adam Booth, you can see, like when he fought Solomon Day, because he does that twitch. All Adam Booth's fighters do twitch. They do the twitch to cause you to make a reaction, for you to react. And then they want to throw the shots off the back of it. And one thing I liked about Jamie TKV, that he wasn't falling for any of that. But what I am going to say is this. At the time when the referee said break, yeah? When the referee hit his hand, the referee said break twice, yeah? It says break. Doesn't mean that you've got to stop fighting, you know?
You also said get your hand off him.
Yeah, get your hand off of him, right? And you got to think at that time as well, it was his left arm that was around David. And the referee said break. You should have known better, and it was a schoolboy error. You should know better on things like this. Always protect yourself at all times and hold your hands up. You know what I mean? I use on my Instagram, you go check it out right now. I state when Sugar Ray Leonard, because it's the anniversary today of Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler's 38 years. The first round in the clinch, what did Leonard do? When told to break by the referee, Richard Still, he pulls Hagler's head down, he creates distance, and then he's off. That's gonna come with experience. I think Jamie's still a very, very good fighter, and I'm also glad for David Adeleye. You know what I mean? He came out second best when he fought. What's that? 2 years in October, right? When he fought FABIO Wardley. So you know, man, all the credit in the world to him, because he's now British champion, and that means a lot. That's a mighty accolade to have, to say you're British champion, you're British heavyweight champion as well. Massive accolade.
Yeah, it is, and it's a shame it's got a bit of a cloud over it. But you know, in your opinion, the outcome, the way it happened, what's your opinion on it? Was it wrong? Should it have been a DQ? Should it have been a 5-minute rest? What do you think should have happened in that moment, if you was a referee?
You know what? I think it should have been a 5-minute rest, because the referee, and you saw Barry Smith, the trainer, say, said to the referee that you messed up. And the referee said no, and then the referee came and admitted that, yeah, you know what I mean, I did tell him to break. But regardless if someone tells you to break, yeah, even if a point is deducted from you, you're still in the fight. If someone says break, you can't, you're being trusting, and that could be something to do with, like, these guys actually know each other as well, right? That you think, all right, then, well, we're going to be sportsmen about this. This is the fight game. There ain't no, you know what I mean? And I'm going to be real with you. you got to take advantage of situations, and that's what he did.
It's worth highlighting, and I did say, because I'm trying to be the fairest with both parties here, because I get on well with both sides.
And so do I.
There was a moment earlier in the fight where the exact same scenario where the referee broke him up and shouted break, and it was Jamie that threw the right hand, which landed on Adelai's chin.
That was the second round, right?
Yeah. So he actually Adelaide did the same error. He trusted
Yeah,
him. Took a
right.
right hand.
But here's the difference. Here's the difference.
But Jamie got told off. That's the difference. He got told off and he got a bollocking and the fight got stopped. But obviously, in this scenario, the referee did a count.
Yeah, but
Argument.
why? I'll tell you why. You got to think trajectory, right? The referee at the time, when he said break, yeah? When he said break, the referee was on the left shoulder of Jamie TKV, yeah? He's on his left shoulder and he pushes away his left arm, right? Not the right arm, because it's the left hook that thrown and that would have blocked it, yeah? He pushes it away. It's on the blind side of the referee. But he says break. People don't usually step back when you say break. Yeah, I mean, we keep on going like, oh, it's this gentleman's sport. It's not. You got to think of what's the artistry of boxing. The artistry of boxing is to render your man unconscious for 10 seconds or more. Right? That's what it is. And because it was a knockout in the way, and it wasn't even that, because he went down, right? As he went down, this is all next parts of experience. As he went down, he rose too quickly anyway, because that was a heavy shot. But he's more likely he hasn't been down in a professional ring, so he figured, right, I got to get up. Do you know what I mean? And he did very strong. He got up very strong. But when he did get up, he was groggy. So while then, David said, listen, man, I'm going for this, guns blazing. So if it was off of that one shot, break, boom, he hit him, and then he knocked him out. My neighbor's fire alarm's going off, right? And that happened. Then we could say, oh, no, there'll be. But because he got up and he was allowed to continue to fight, yeah. But it was a mess up by the referee. I'm not gonna lie, it was. But I think away from David's win.
What should happen next? Should it be a rematch, DQ? What do you think should happen?
No, I don't. You know what? I'm gonna be real. I saw Carl Frampton was my guy, right? And Carl was saying, no, it should be a no contest. And right, and we could agree with that to a certain extent. But you also got to look at we got to look at the real surroundings. The real surroundings is that the house fight is David Adeleye, right? And in fairness, don't call it a no contest. Don't call it a disqualification, right? Allow the two men to go do it again.
Because you know your history. I've been researching. I can't find anything online. But has there ever been a situation with the British Boxing Board where there's been some sort of controversial ending and they've ordered an immediate rematch? That DQ, no contest in the fight.
Yes. When Danny Williams knocks out Michael Sprott, and they said it was a low blow, but it was still classed as a knockout, and Danny Williams had to give a rematch to Michael Sprott. Subsequently, he loses that rematch. So yeah, and we're going back there. That is what? That's 2004.
Okay, so in Spencer's opinion, it should be let the results stand, but order an immediate rematch.
Let the results stand, but then yeah, they should order a rematch.
Okay, good stuff. And then moving on to the main event, Joyce. I've got to ask you, what did you make of his performance? Because I think that most people before the fight said he was a heavy underdog, didn't give him a chance, but by the looks of it, it was a very competitive fight.
It was an incredibly competitive fight, and for everyone saying that Joyce should retire, no, he shouldn't retire. You know what I mean? Before we're lobbying to say like Joyce should retire from boxing, because I still think there's a lot of fighting, especially after yesterday's performance, right? Hrgovic is no joke, right? I just want you to, Hrgovic is a very, very good fighter, right? And it was a very good, entertaining fight, because that fight could have gone two ways. It could have gone in a way that it went like last night, or it could have been a really ugly fight, right? And it wasn't. It was neither of those. Fair play to Joyce. He fought his heart out. You know what I mean? He got clipped. He got hurt a couple of times. But he was in the fight. He was in the fight. He did lose the fight. Let's not get twisted. And there is fight left in him. I see like Spencer, Oliver, and Adam Catwell were calling, say like, well, maybe Joe should retire because you don't want to hear him being slurred and punchy like Riddick Bowe or Oliver McCall or Evander Holyfield. I would say like at this level where he's at right now, he can still compete. And if it was down to something where I could visibly see like there's telltale signs in a massive decline in him, then I could say, yeah, you should retire. I don't. He fought gallantly, he threw hands. It's just that he was in with a better guy. And we have to be real with this. Like, those same people, I ain't calling for Derek Chisora to hang them up. And I have many times said, well, it's time for Derek to and it's been nearly a decade now. Maybe this time here. And Derek just keeps on springing back. Why can it not be the same for Joe Joyce? If Joe Joyce was to go out in his next fight and get knocked out, then I'd be saying, yeah. But you lost on points against Hrgovic, who's a very, very good fighter. Many people tipped Hrgovic to beat Daniel Dubois. I wasn't one of them. That was one of the ones that I called right on the 5v5 on Boxing King Media. But I'm saying, you know, I don't think there should be calls for him to retire. He fought gallantly.
In that case, who do you think you should fight next? Because I did speak to Adam Morali. The interview will be going out later this afternoon, where he said he doesn't want him to be a gatekeeper, but they would, they still wanted competitive fights.
Yeah, and the competitive fight should be him versus Derek Chisora. He lost on points. Derek Chisora, sorry. Him versus Dylan White. Derek Chisora. Him versus Dylan White. That still is a fight that is there, and I think that fight should happen.
Okay. No, should be interesting to see if that happens. Quick opinion on Jarrell Miller versus FABIO Wardley. A fight that not many people still coming.
Brilliant fight, man. Fair play to Frank Warren for putting that fight. That is a very, very good fight. Listen, you gotta love everything about FABIO Wardley. Very humble guy, you know what I mean? Family orientated man, and he's about that work. And the thing what I like about FABIO Wardley, he's got very, very good intellect on when to attack. You know what I mean? He's not just here like, oh, I've got to throw. No, he knows when to. He's very, very well timed. And because of that, it's going to be an excellent fight. You know what I mean? It's going to be an excellent fight because Jarrell Miller as well, right? For all of him being the bad guy and like, you know what I mean? When they were doing these urine samples, you can open 7 Boots chemists, right? But on the reels, when we look at Jarrell Miller now, like he's kind of reinvented himself a little bit, you know? Like, and he has done. He's done that by putting in gallant performances. You know what I mean? He was very, very unlucky in the Ruiz fight. Very unlucky in that fight. And this is a test for both gentlemen because Gerard Miller, if he takes it seriously, then he's a problem. But the way the performances that we're seeing right now from FABIO Wardley, you know what I mean? I think FABIO is going to start the favorite in this fight. But it's not an easy fight. But I'm really happy that we're getting these kind of fights. And we're getting these kind of fights on home soil. I don't even think it's got anything to do with Riyadh season. So props to Frank Warren for calling that fight and making that fight happen.
I asked somebody else this earlier. I'll ask you the same question. That particular weekend, there's 3 big fights on June the 7th. We've got 2 stadium fights. We've got Callum Simpson will be in a sold-out Barnsley Stadium fighting for the European title. You've got Miller versus FABIO Wardley at Ipswich Town Stadium. And then also on the Sunday, you've got Jaya Pattaya in the Gold Coast. If you could be at any one of them events, so you got the Australian Sunshine and the Australian event or the 2 British stadium fights, which one would you want to be sat ringside at?
I'm going to be real with you, yeah? Nothing doesn't bring out things like when 2 heavyweights in an even competitive match, and that's what this is, right? Because there's a lot of what-if factors on both sides. Me personally, and there's no disrespect to any of them. I know Jai Pattaya because he comes on the fighters right with me and Tundi quite regularly. He's a nice guy, and big up his manager Mick Francis as well. They're good people. But me personally, the fight that I want to go, because I want to go to the most competitive. I believe that Callum Simpson is going to be victorious in his European title fight, right? That's what I believe. I believe that Jai Pattaya is going to walk through his opponent. I believe, right? I want to go to the most competitive fight and the one where I don't have to spend much money to travel to neither.
Fair play. Spencer, I think that's pretty much it. I'm just going to mention also, our sponsors at BYD, they've just released the BYD Sea Line 7. It's out. It's in the Sheffield showroom if anyone wants to go and test drive it. And they've got exclusive offers on the car. If you just mention Boxing King Media, the information is all in the description of the videos.
Bro, let me tell you this. Yeah, I was fortunate enough to get sponsored by BYD Sheffield, and I had the Seal. Yeah, and it is a fabulous drive. But the Sea Lion is a bigger version. It's more chunkier. It's more. And I would say to anybody, just go down there and go down there, test drive the car. Simply because, trust me, I'm not saying it for the sake of saying it. I'm saying it is a really good car, man. A really good. Big up all the guys down at BYD Sheffield because they sponsored the Legacy Gala for the children last year. So I'm very, very extremely thankful to Ryan and all of the team because they are absolutely fabulous people.
Indeed. Spencer, thank you very much for your time. I'll let you enjoy the weekend and the sunshine on what's left of it before it gets to like 5 degrees again at 6 o'clock.
Bro, this is England, bro.
It is. Thank you very much.
Take care, my bro.
Yeah, bye.